say it out loud, Marci, because the universe is an eavesdropper. You know, if you say, oh my gosh, I can't make money, the universe is like, yeah, you can't make money. So if you're affirming my financial opportunities are boundless, the universe supports me completely, then opportunity comes from everywhere. It's all over you.
Welcome to Living in the Miracle Zone. This is the place to be if you want to live in the flow of synchronicities and miracles in your everyday life. I'm your host, Marci Shimoff. I'm a #1 New York Times bestselling author, a teacher in The Secret, and the creator of the worldwide program, Your Year of Miracles. And I have spent my life studying happiness and miracles. And in this podcast, we bring to you extraordinary miracle stories that will inspire you and groundbreaking miracle tools that will help show you how to live your most miraculous life. It is my heartfelt intention that we have a fabulous time together. So welcome to the Miracle Zone. And today I am so excited to be joined by the fabulous Glynis McCants. Glynis, thank you so much for being here. You know I love getting to talk with you anytime I can.
Well, I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, let me tell people about your amazing experience and background. Glynis is an award-winning numerologist. She's been teaching numerology for more than 27 years. And her unique method is based on the Pythagoras number system, which is more than 2,500 years old. And she has done 15,000 readings. She has an internationally best-selling book, Glynis Has Your Numbers. And she is really the go-to person for people wanting to learn about numerology. And she's also the go-to person for many celebrities. She's worked on movies. She has a DVD about the life path numbers. And she is really, she says that when we have your name and date of birth, we can discover exactly who you are. And so that's what we're going to do today. So Glynis, welcome to helping us see what's up for us now and in this coming year, which is what I'm really excited to hear about. Maybe the place to start would be to kind of get an idea from you about how does numerology in general help us live more in the miracle zone, which is what we're all about here.
So the beauty of numerology, like numerology itself, is the science of numbers. It's 2,500 years old. And the belief is that everything in this universe has vibration. So Pythagoras is the number system I use. And yeah, at this point, it's literally been over 30 years, right? Because I studied it forever before I realized there were a lot of books out there, but they were not specific. You know, it's like they'd say, hey, you're short, you're tall, you're fat, you're thin. I'm like, what? So then when I had my own breakthroughs, I realized, oh, I need to write a book. So my first book was Glynis Has Your Number because I literally did. So it's about vibration. Marci, when you meet someone, you know how you're like, oh, you had an instant connection. Like, I love this person. You're fast friends. But then sometimes you meet someone else, you're like, wow, I feel a little bit depleted. I feel a little tired. That's energy. So what I teach you is who's compatible, who's a challenge, and most importantly, no matter who you come up against, how do you stay your authentic self? You know, not let them affect you. Because when you have a bad experience with someone, you can walk away and they kind of ruin your day. I make sure that doesn't happen. So it's all vibration and it's numerology. And it's the one I'm using is 2,500 years old.
And what I recognize, the way you use it is not just to help with our relationships.
Yes.
It's to help with our relationship to our work. It's to help with every area of our life, our health, our money, our, just overall outlook and all of that. So what have you found blocks people the most? And then I want to get into the specifics for the coming year. What do you find is kind of a general block that keeps people from living a more fabulous life?
Well, what it is they hope that everyone they meet is as wonderful as they are, and people aren't. Sometimes you come against someone who they say things and you want to believe them because that's who you are, and then they betray you. But if you look back, you realize, oh, this pattern was from the very beginning. So when I help them see that, they instantly feel better. So, if you're feeling depressed, like my story, my first love, I couldn't get over him. My heart was broken for 2 years. I met a woman who was a numerologist. At the time, I was told she was a psychic, but that's because when you do numerology, if you're good at it, it's very psychic, right? You tap into that part of you to understand people. And I said to her, I just can't get over him. She said, no, it's not him. It's his mother and his sister. They're both naturally matched to you. He's actually toxic to you. And sure enough, after 2 years of being in agony, Marci, I was over it. It just made sense. It rang true to me. So then I picked up a book on numerology and read just the basic numbers 1 through 9. And I swear to you, within a week, I could read anybody, which of course doesn't make sense. That's when you know a gift is God-given. For me, it was completely God-given that this was a tool to help people get happy. So, your whole happy for no reason. You're born on a 3-day. I'm born the 12th. 1 + 2 is 3. It is about motivating and uplifting other people. We feel called to that. So we all use different tools to get there. Numerology is the one I help to heal your life. So that's what I would tell you, that they want to believe someone in their life is just like them, thinks the way they do, and they don't. So when you understand your differences in your numerology blueprint, it helps you tremendously.
I got God bumps when you were saying what you were saying about us being threes, and what we're here to do is
Yes.
to inspire. That's what I feel I love to do, is help people see the possibilities of their
Yes.
life and how they can step into a better life. So let's get really practical. I want to dive in. And I know we're going to take a look at 2025, but first, do we want to look at maybe each person's, you said you were going to look at how each person's number affects them.
That's right. So example, we all have a life path number and we get it from a full date of birth reduced to 1 digit. So my example of a birth date, and people can write this down while they're listening, 8/2/1962. So what do? You take it straight across, like you add it and reduce it to 1 digit. So 8 + 2 + 1 + 9 + 6 + 2 is 28. 2 + 8 is 10. 1 + 0 is 1. So a person born that day, 8/2/1962, is a 1 life path. And what does that mean? 1 strive to be the best at what they do. Now, what's cute about
Wait, I have to pause for just a second.
Sure.
Is that example yours?
Yes. Well, no. My birthday, no. No.
Okay.
I was
The
born
reason
on the
I'm
12th.
saying that
Why?
is that I am born, and I'm happy to say it, February 3rd, 1958.
Yes.
And you add those up, and I'm a 28,
Yes.
which is a 1 as well. So what you're about to describe,
Is
thank you.
you. Yes.
So
I was going to say.
it wasn't the same birthday you used, but it is actually my number. So.
Right. So here's how that works. It's true. Our life path number, we must find a way to fulfill it or we won't be happy. So here's what it means about you and anyone else who's a 1. You are literally running a race. You just feel like, what's next? What are we doing? You always have a plan of attack, a plan to handle it. And then you take your time out to go, okay, but I also have to feel good, because the truth is a 1 is critical of themselves, and therefore they can't help but see the flaw in others to help them. Like you spot it. That's what 1s do. So I teach them not to be so self-critical, and I teach them to stop when something goes well and acknowledge it and say, look what I just did. Yay me. Like take a day out, because 1s don't. They don't do it, Mars. You guys are like, that was great, but what's next? What's our plan? And why is that? Because 1 is the beginning. If these basic numbers are 1 through 9, so 1's the beginning. The 2 life path.
By the way, I just have to comment.
Yes.
You got my number. That's it. Everything you said, I can relate.
And it's so true. And that's the beauty of doing this for as long as I have. And for the record, when you mentioned in my bio, 15,000 reads is what I did before I wrote my book, the first book, because I read everybody, but I'm over 50,000 readings in my career at this point. It's all I do, Marci. I wouldn't even know how not to do the numbers. So let's go to the 2. Recognizing this can also be in our chart. The 2 is sensitive. That's the natural psychic, the one who just picks up energy. So they have to be careful, because when they love deeply. And if the heart gets broken, sometimes they shut it down. They don't want to even try again. And I help them break that pattern, because the 2 must love. That's who they are. The number 3, they promote laughter, communication. I am double 3. I'm a 3 life path born on a 3 day. Well, Comedy, that's my first thing. In my 20s, I went on stage, did 45 minutes. The guy thought I was a headliner, asked me what my rate was. I was brand new, but it was easy because a 3 is funny. So, Mars, I know for a fact you've got a sense of humor. You born on a 3-day, you can't help it. But you also like funny people. See, if someone's funny, you're hanging out with them. You love the wit. That's coming from your 3. So I always tell 3s, counselors, they feel called to help you. So again, if it's in your chart, you feel the need, if someone's in trouble, you want to help them. But here's what you get upset about. You give this perfect advice, and when they don't take it and they come back with exactly what you said would happen, that's an issue for a 3. It's like, but wait, I don't want to say the words I told you so, but I told you so. So that's the 3. The number 4 is constantly seeking knowledge. So they're based in logic. A plus B must equal C. They just have, and once they learn it, they're like a permanent student. They want to pass it on to you. They want to help you too. The number 5 means freedom, fun, adventure. And by the way, you have a 5 attitude, Marci. So 5.
I have a 5 husband as well.
Oh, do you? So it's never a dull moment. Never a dull moment. But it also means you should get out of your regular environment to travel or go to a hotel, find ways to be romantic, keep the date night happening, because otherwise you get too busy. That's just a fact. But the 5 means you can't control them. I compare a 5 to a cat. If you come onto a cat, the cat's out the door. But if you ignore the cat moseys back in. You can see the tail. That's a 5. But they always get to the truth too. You know, when I said that, you have a 5 attitude. If something doesn't ring true to you, you'll do research. It's like, I need to know. I want to know the answer. So that's a 5, but they are celebrators of life. So when you do your events, I promise you, you could say, you know, when I do it, I say, raise your hand if you're a 5. The bulk of the room is, because they can't wait to learn something new and they're at some fun event. The 6 life path. These are magnetic people. They like to be in charge of what they do. So what they can be accused of is trying to control the environment. You know, like, oh, you're a control freak. And it's not true. They're just afraid if they don't do it, it won't get done. So a 6 should not work for someone else. They should be in charge of what they do. The 7 has the mystery. Okay, 7s are the one who say to you, who am I? What am I? Why am I here? They need those answers. So I always say they've got to find some base of faith to believe in. Otherwise, they become very cynical. And they also need alone time. So if you're involved with a 7, don't take it personally when they just kind of disappear, like into the room. Let them do it. Because they're not going to talk. The more you push a 7 to talk when they don't want to, the quieter they become. The number 8 is about image, okay? It's about beauty. And it's funny, I would think you have that. It's got to be your 3 that makes you performance ready, right? It's the light. But going to the 8 likes quality. If you go to an 8's home, they have collected things that are beautiful. It makes them happy. When I think of a diamond, and I think of actually Liz Taylor, she had 8s all over her chart. Remember her big old diamond?
Oh, yes.
8s love that. It's like a beautiful room, everything nicely put together, stuff they collected that mattered. But what 8s have to watch for is they're very direct. They're outspoken, and they often say things they regret later if they talk to someone they love, because they're not out to hurt someone. So I actually teach them to bite their tongue. I'm like, take a time out. Don't just say what you're thinking, because it's direct, too direct, like blunt. And they're powerful people. 9 is the old soul. And what that means is, as little kids, they say things beyond their years. There's something about them, but they have to overcome scars from the original family. If they didn't feel loved and supported, it lingers. If they go through a bad marriage, even if they find a decent person later, they kind of live in that past. So I teach 9s, be in this moment, because they're extraordinary people and they are called to make sure they're making this world a better place. That is literally what they must do, or they will not be fulfilled. So just so you know, Mars, that's basic numbers 1 through 9. I'm going to say quickly, there are master numbers. People who are master number 11, 22, or 33, if they're listening now, I still invite you to say 11/2, 22/4, 33/6, because that basic vibration is very much a part of them as well.
I could relate to almost everything you said.
Yes. Well,
So what do you do for people that go, oh, okay, I those could all be me?
they can't possibly be all you, but let me tell you the why of it. You don't just have one number in your blueprint. A numerology blueprint is 6 numbers that make up our chart. So example, your name number that you go by now, it has the 7, it has the 5, it has the 3. And then your birthday, you got the 5 again, born on a 3 day, 1 life path. You see? So you've got a lot of numbers there. I don't know your destiny number and I don't know your maturity number, but it doesn't surprise me when someone hears basic definitions going, wait, is that a part of my chart? Chances are it is. And that's what they need to look at. That's why I present the numerology blueprint. But my bigger point is this, Marci, you're a 1 life path. If you didn't feel you were doing what you could to be the best at what you do, you'd be miserable. That's not true for a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, it isn't. They all have different callings, different bottom lines, you see? And that's why, as a counselor of numerology, I have to know what's that life path number, but also what numbers are repeating themselves in your chart. Because, Marci, when a number repeats itself, that matters too, because it's having an influence on you. And people need to know that as well.
I love how detailed this is. It also helps me really, we mentioned it already that this came from Pythagoras. I used to teach geometry.
Yes.
So I know Pythagoras was the real deal mathematician. Yes. So this isn't, can you tell us why this isn't woo-woo stuff and why this is really grounded?
I sure can, because numbers, and let's go to the word woo-woo, because we know that that's a bad rap for those that are actually gifted. Here's how it works. When people say, oh, she's psychic, the fact is we all are. Some of us you can have a tool that opens up the third eye. When I look at a numerology blueprint and counsel, my third eye is wide open and you can run, but you cannot hide. So anybody can pick up my books, Marci, Love by the Numbers, Glynis has your number, and they will accurately define energy. Like people say, oh, that sounds like me, but they won't be able to kick it to that next level. Where people say, whoa, my husband said that to me yesterday. Oh my gosh, my daughter said that to me last week. That's that extra gift, but that's my tool. So we all have different tools. But think about it, Marci. If you're thinking about a friend, how often does the phone ring and it was your friend you were just thinking about?
Yeah.
That's the gift that we have. And that's all of us. So woo-woo to me, it represents those who pretend to be gifted in some field and they're not. But the people I know, and I know you know the people I do, they're really gifted. These are people who, you know what it is? These gifts come through us. It's not your mind, and it's certainly not your ego. It's coming right through your body. And when you let it come through, you become a clear channel. And that's why when I do a numerology blueprint and interpretation, it is so dead on accurate. That is why.
Well, I want to confirm that because I've had the great privilege and honor of having you do a blueprint for me. And you are spot on. In fact, I just want everyone to know that Glynis is one of the people I go to when I want to know, hey, what's going on? Hey, how do I deal with what's going on? Because, that's where it gets really important and practical, where we can take self-responsibility is to go, okay, what's going on in the world is what's going on in the world. How do I, as a life path 1 or these other numbers, how do I best deal with it? So Glynis, I think it'd be very interesting, of course, to look at what's coming up for everybody in 2025. But is there also a way for us to look at, based on what our number is, what kind of year it's going to be for me personally?
Absolutely.
That.
So here's how that works. When, like example, 2025, when you break that down, 2 + 0 + 2 + 5 is 9. Now, I want to say, as we are talking right now, we're dealing with the world number 8. So what do? I let you go to the beginning of a year and explain what I see and what it is. So this year was already set up to be kind of in your face, but also set up where you hit your head before you learn. So there was no way this just would be smooth sailing.
So right now, Glynis, I just want to clarify. You're talking about.
I'm talking about where we are and where we're going.
2024.
Yeah, because I want people are
some
living.
People may be listening to this in 2025, so I just want to clarify.
2024 people are living right now and letting them just remember what kind of years has been in energy. Then we move into our next cycle. 2025, when you break it down, 2 + 0, 2 + 5 is 9. 9 literally represents clearing space for new beginnings. That is a much lighter energy in numerology. Now, here's what's exciting about the 9 as well. How it works is you take your month and day and you add it to the world number. And then whatever that breaks down to is the personal year cycle you're in. Now, next
Well,
year.
let's repeat that. Let me just repeat that.
Yeah.
Your month. So if you're born in February, you're at 2 month. Your day, I was born on the 3rd. I'm a 3-day. So 2 + 3 is 5.
And now
And I add it to
the
the
world number.
year. 2025 is a 9-year.
That's right.
So I add 5 to the 9-year. That makes it a 14. 1 + 4 = 5. So for me personally, it's a 5-year going forward. But I just want to make sure everybody knows how to work it out themselves.
Right. But
You're
here's
only looking at your month and your year. I mean, your month and your day. You're adding those two numbers together.
Yes.
And you're adding it to 9, which is what 2025 is.
So here's what's lucky. For people who normally can't do the numerology, like they just can't figure out that personal year cycle, here's what's lucky. When you deal with the number 9, whatever your attitude, it's the attitude number, by the way, your month and day is like you have a 5 attitude, never a dull moment, okay? But when you add it to 9, it will become that number. So that means anybody's month and day, once they reduce it, they've already got the number for next year. They do. Because once they add it to the 9 and reduce it to 1 digit, it'll be that number. So what's your husband's month and day?
July 30th. So 7/30. So he's
Right.
at
So 7
10.
and 3. 7 + 3 is 10. 1 + 0 is 1. He's in a personal year of 1 because 1 + 9 is 10. 1 + 0 is 1. See, 9's considered somewhat magical in that it disappears. When you add it up, when you add something to a 9, it becomes whatever you added it to, which I love this, right? This is all number magic, but that just happens to be true for next year. So Marci, that means it's going to be very easy for you when you deal with people to go, what cycle are they in? You just add their month and day and you're going to know in the year of 9. That won't be true the next year. It's the truth only in the cycle of 9, world number. So 2025. When I say clearing space, I mean you literally look at your life and say, what do I need to let go of? So obviously, I always recommend throwing out clothes you haven't worn forever. If there's paper piles up, let it go. Just the more you throw away, the more you are literally clearing your head. Like it's such a healing thing. It's about 2 things. You can let people go. Like if someone's been really just horrible for you for years, it's okay in the cycle of 9 to say, we're done here. I love you. I wish you well, but I can't do this anymore. That's what I mean. But it also means reconnection. If you've had a fight with somebody years ago and you just really miss them, it's the time you write that letter. It could be family. It could be a sibling you don't talk to or a parent. And just, I want you to know, I do love you. I know we don't see each other, but I still wish you good things. So it's a very healing time in that way. But it also represents whatever you've been working on really hard for those 9 years, whatever that could be, there's a payoff. There's a payoff. So depending on what personal year cycle you're in, that tells us what's up. So I'm going to jump to just you because you said you're in a cycle of 5. Marci, it means fasten your seatbelts. It means it moves really quickly. So are you good about writing things down that need to get done? Would you say you're good about that?
Yeah, pretty good.
Well, guess what? In the news cycle, you have no choice. You literally each day, this is my to-do list because it's the kind of thing that happens where it's Monday, suddenly it's Friday, and you didn't do what you meant to do. So I'm saying when it's got that kind of pace, it reminds me a little bit, if I were swimming and there's a rip tide, if you relax in the rip tide, you're good. But if you fight it, you can drown. So I'm saying for you, when it feels a little nutty, so what? Say, I'm going to relax into this. And then here's what's fun about it. Cycle of 5 means taking care of you, like getting the massage.
Yay.
Yes. Going on the trip, wherever it is you really wanted to go away just for that weekend or a week, you go. Because the more you travel in a cycle of 5, the bigger your breakthroughs. Great things can happen. Yeah, you'll connect with people you didn't expect to connect with. It can be very lovely for you. But you're not in control. Be clear on that. It's like, I am going to roll with what this year has to offer me. But it's great. By the way, for the record, a lot of people who win the Oscar win it when they're in a personal year in 5 because they're not in control of it, are they? People voted.
Wow.
but they often end up winning in that cycle. So that's what I mean.
Darn, I should have been in a movie last year that would have been up for an Oscar in 2025. Oh, well.
But what you can do, all these things you've been doing, something good comes from it in the cycle of 5 that you didn't expect, that you weren't in control of. That's what I say.
I love it. And I do have some big trips planned. So that's cool.
Oh, good.
So we're going to go through everybody's year number right now.
That's right.
Good.
So let's say, again, your husband, personal year of 1. What does it mean? First of all, he should be wrapping things up this year. Like when I, talk about that cycle of 9, 1 means finding a way to get into the driver's seat of his life. It's like kind of taking his power back. If he felt powerless in his work or in any personal capacity, he's getting in that car again and say, no, I can do this. Like, I think it's going to be fun for you to see since you're a 1 life path. And by the way, 1s tend to be a cheerleader. So to see him get that extra energy or that boost of wanting to do something is exciting. For you, you'll recognize it and you'll be happy for him. Yes. But that's true for everyone. So if you feel sluggish, someone listening right now who's about to enter a cycle of 1, you wake up and go, no, this is my life. I'm going to do something that I want to do. So I love that.
Great.
Cycle of 2. Someone, let's say you're dating. It's a great time to pop the question. This is about connection, right? If you wanted to get pregnant, good year to get pregnant. If you are someone who is naturally gifted, like an empath or a psychic, great year to launch your business because the 2 energy is going to invite you to be very gifted. Like that talent you have, it almost kicks it up a notch. Now, my other thing is if you're in a personal year 2 and you feel really emotional, it's okay. I say, laugh all your laughter, cry all your tears. It's fine. Just get it out of your body and move forward. Personal year of 3. Okay, this is fun, Marci, for those that are very intense. We have people in the world that are very serious. When you're in a cycle of 3, it says, nope, time to get in touch with the inner child. It's time to play. If there's a song, maybe karaoke, you want to sing, but you were afraid to, sing in that personal year of 3. It also invites you to sell. So if you believe in something, you can convince others to go for it. So the cycle of 3 is about that, laughter, communication, playful, no matter who it is. That means if a 7 tends to be quiet, they shut down. When you're in cycle 3, you'll watch them talk more than they normally do because the 3 wants that. Personal year of 4, educating yourself. It's a time to learn. If you feel like you kind of dropped the ball, maybe there's something in your business and for a fact, if you got that little degree or certificate, it could kick it up a notch. Do it. Because the cycle of 4 wants you to educate and you'll retain the information. Most importantly, sometimes it's hard. You get too busy and you can't really think. The cycle of 4 wants you to. And then it's solid. It's about getting in touch with the ground. I always think of dirt, the gardening, looking at the landscape, getting in the water, being in touch with nature. Personal year of 4. What do I caution? Very honest cycle. That means yes and no are complete sentences. You don't feel called to explain yourself. And that can be nice, especially for the codependents. You just feel like no is no. Cycle of 5, like I've already defined with you, no dull moments, exciting, fun, but relax into it. Cycle of 6. Now, again, if you were someone who wanted to get pregnant, perfect time. I mean, 6 literally represents parent energy. So maybe you don't. Maybe you're just someone who lives by yourself. Get your little dog, get the little, kitty cat, something to love because it invites that nurturer that you are. But it also empowers you as a human being, meaning if you're in business and you've been working under someone else and you kind of feel like you've done all the work, it's time to get promoted or move on into your own thing. So remember, the 6 empowers us for strength, but also family. If family, someone's really bothering you, it's a time to find the words so that you can communicate and do some healing in that way. So it's one of my favorite cycles because I already know how strong one feels when they didn't feel strong before. Personal year of 7, tapping into that spiritual side of you. If you're a communicator and you're someone who's always talking, cycle of 7, you're not talking so much. I've literally counseled someone saying, Glynis, I feel like I don't even want to go outside. I said, honey, this is going to pass. But right now you're supposed to be doing work within. And just like that cycle of 5, it is about movement, travel, going on a road trip, embracing all that nature's beauty has to offer. And water has a profound effect on someone with that 7. And a person who's 7, get in the, that bathtub with the salts that help heal your body. Get in the jacuzzi. If you have a pool, lay there with that full moon and just take it in. Because what happens is your inner voice is super loud. So when you feel frustrated out there, ask the inner voice, what's going on? You will get your answer in that cycle. So those who work on that spiritual side in the cycle of 7, I get the most beautiful letters of breakthroughs for them. Personal year of 8. So 8 is about image. Like you may even wake up and look in the mirror and go, what happened to me? Like if I don't blow dry my hair, it looks like Albert Einstein. So in a personal year of 8, you might just go, what? I got to try again. I'm going to drop some weight. I'm going to have my exercise program. I'm going to get a checkup. Oh, and that's big. Don't ignore anything. Like if your neck hurts and you're like, oh, it's no big deal, or your shoulder, next thing you know, because you ignored it, it's shoulder surgery. You don't want to do that. So lower back pain, knee pain, work on that. And of course, I'm huge on the affirmations, Marci, healing your body through affirmations. Those who are aware, obviously, Louise Hay, my book, Glynis Has Your Number, affirmations to just work on what's really going on with my body. Cycle of 8 asks you to do that. And then it's about money. So if you have a big business happening and you've got this big idea, if you affirm it, like get your mind in a prosperous place, you can have the best. I had a guy triple his income in his cycle of 8. He just wrote me and told me that. Of course, the world number's an 8, so that's double 8 for him.
Wow. I can hear a lot of people going, I can't wait till my 8 year.
Well, remember, watching for the health, right? It's two things. We got the health, but also prosperity. Yeah. And for the record, I want to make this clear. If you work on the financial side of your brain, like get your subconscious to believe in your prosperity, you can do well every single year in that way. Yes, you can. I'm big on that one. And then cycle of 9. Well, like the world number, it's about clearing space for new beginnings, clearing space, but also your life. You don't have to stay stuck. That's the big things. People, sometimes we get in a work environment, maybe it's a paycheck. We're afraid to leave because it's a solid paycheck, but we hate the job. The 9 cycle says you don't have to do that. This is your life. And as the saying goes, tomorrow's promised to no one. So you got to find ways to be happy in this moment. So it's a time to look at relationship. It's a time to look at the job. It's a time to look at your health. It's a time to look at healing, like healing, not just you, but anyone that you really care about. If you know for a fact you made a mistake and it turned into a blowout, the 9 says, let's heal that. This is a time for healing. And if you're retired and you're like, I don't do anything with my life, what a perfect time to volunteer your time. Charities of any kind, flying away to help people, anything you do that has to do with humanity, you want to talk about fulfilled? The 9 says do it. So that's how those personal year cycles work.
I love this. I can't wait actually to go do this on everybody I know or do this with everybody I know and offer them what it is you've just said, because I think this is what I really appreciate, what a great tool numerology is to help us be more conscious, to help us live a more amazing, miraculous life. So
yeah,
I really am thrilled with all of this. And so Glynis, what's your any last words of advice before we close?
There's 2 things I want to say. One, I want to also point out that the day matters. Every day has energy. The month that you're in matters. The personal year cycle matters. The pinnacle cycle you're in matters. So that's why numbers are alive. These numbers are not just stagnant. When you make a note of why is today feeling weird or why is today out of control, once you know that, it makes the difference. So I have created the numerology calendar for that reason, Marci. You do know about my calendars, I believe. But it's a symbol for every day, when to make a move and when to proceed with caution. Wonderful, wonderful tool to just help you navigate your life. That's what I really do. And then
I highly, highly recommend your numerology calendars.
And it's 9 different ones because of your life path. So your one life path calendar is not going to be like my 3 life path calendar. Each day, there's some days that challenge you that don't challenge me, and then vice versa. But what I want to give everybody right now is a prosperity affirmation that I know works for a fact. So when I said earlier, Money is a funny thing. If you come from, let's say, a family of dysfunction, or maybe when you were little, you had no money, there's a fear that no matter how much money you make, it's not enough. So I'm just going to pass on an affirmation I know is effective for everybody, and they should write it down. But you say, my financial opportunities are boundless, and the universe supports me completely. My financial opportunities are boundless, and the universe supports me completely. I'll say it one more time. My financial opportunities are boundless, and the universe supports me completely. If you do that, like when people commit to it, first of all, I say it out loud, Marci, because the universe is an eavesdropper. If you say, oh my gosh, I can't make money, the universe is like, yeah, you can't make money. So if you're affirming my financial opportunities are boundless, the universe supports me completely, then opportunity comes from everywhere. It's all over you. But that's really important right now.
Mm. Wow. I will be using that. I will absolutely be using that. And so Glynis, the way that people can find you and your work is at numberslady.com. And I know your numerology life path calendars for 2025 are on there.
Yes.
And I learn more from you in a short period of time than I can imagine. My head is bursting. I'm going to listen to this again and again. I'm thrilled about it. And I love you. I love your work. I love your energy. I love your commitment to really helping people live better lives. And this is just a brilliant tool, and you are a master at what you do.
Thank you. And can I say quickly something about you? Just from your blueprint?
Okay.
So let's walk through that when you said, there's pieces of that. That's all me. Let's just say, who are you? Okay. Your soul is spiritual. That God energy, it fulfills your soul. So example, when you say miracles, if you see someone have a breakthrough, I will bet money you get emotional. When you see the success because of something you did, you can go to tears, which makes me go to tears right now, only because we're going through a lot. But the 7 means thank you. You have a lot of gratitude. That's another one for you. Here's the joke about you, Marci. If someone gave you a gift, and you'd feel called to give them something back. Like, it's not particularly comfortable. You're like, whoa, okay, that was nice of you, but I need to give you something. So I make the punchline. If someone wrote you a thank you note, you'd write a thank you note for the thank you note. Okay? That's coming from the 5. And then the 3 in you, it is literally, you don't believe in being a victim. If anything that bothers you, and you're like, get up, soldier. No one said life was going to be easy, but we can bring magic to it. We can be in the moment and be happy. We don't have to be depressed. We don't have to live in the past or worry about tomorrow. If we're in the moment, we're good. And that is in your chart. And that's why you do what you do. You don't have a choice.
Well, I feel blessed and privileged to get to do what I do.
You are.
So, and part of the blessing and privilege is that I get to do it with people like you. How great is this that I get to do this with you? I was so looking forward to today, and it's just been magnificent. And I really want to thank you. I want to encourage everybody to go find their Life Path Numerology calendar at numberslady.com. And I always leave with a quote from our guest. And so today's quote that I'm going to leave you with is our affirmation. My financial opportunities are boundless, and the universe supports me completely.
Absolutely.
May that be true for all of us, for our planet. May this really be a blessing to everyone. And I want to thank you, Glynis, and I want to thank everybody here today for listening. I hope that you are feeling inspired and uplifted and more in the miracle zone after our time together. I certainly am. And please share this Miracle Zone love with your friends and your family. Share with them what their life path is and what their year is coming up for them. And if you want to live more in the Miracle Zone, you can also take our free 2-minute quiz to find out what your miracle superpower is. Just go to miraclezonequiz.com. And remember that your life of miracles, it's waiting for you. It is your birthright. And simply by being here today, you are taking a step forward into the Miracle Zone. Enjoy, and I send you my love.